think the easiest way is to introduce you to Jérôme, and also maybe you can introduce yourself, each of you, to Jérôme, because he doesn't know you. So he's seeing a lot of faces. So maybe we can start by that each of you introduce himself or herself to Jérôme, and he will then say a short word about his background, and then we can start the session. So I don't know, I don't see you all on the screen, so maybe you could start the way you wish. So can someone introduce himself?
All right,
you start, Mark.
So because Jérôme doesn't know you, so Daria, maybe you can say who you are and who.
Okay, my name is Beata and this is Małgosia. We are both representing Rzeszow Regional Development Agency from Poland. Should we say something more?
No,
no, maybe it's fine.
Identify the faces.
Yes.
Then we have Marta.
Yes. Hello, I'm Marta. I'm from Puglia region. I'm sorry that my colleague Anna can't be here today, but I would like to thank very much Jérôme for his availability, and also the lead partner for organizing such an interesting webinar.
Okay. Martina, maybe?
Yes, hello, my name is Martina. I'm representing Ministry of Culture in Slovak Republic, in Bratislava.
Thanks. We have Ma.
Hi there, I'm Mar Saez, and I work in PROA, the Federation of Audiovisual Producers, based in Barcelona, in Spain. We are working from home, happily working from home. So it's a pleasure to see you all, and welcome on board, Jérôme and Oronzo.
Thanks. Then Jaime.
I'm Jaime Terrazón. I am an expert that I'm working with PROA and part of the Alice group.
Vanessa.
Yes. Hi, I'm Vanessa Vincent. I'm from Belgium. I'm working for Wallimage. It's the audiovisual investment fund based in Wallonia, in Belgium. And I'm in charge of animation projects.
Thanks. Have I forgotten someone? Emilia, you knows you, so.
Yes.
Okay.
We know each other.
So
okay.
I don't see our Pictanovo's friend, so I think we can start. Yeah. So Jérôme, yes. This is the agenda. Maybe you could introduce yourself briefly, and then we can start the PowerPoint presentation.
Okay. So thank you to be here. I'm very nice to meet you guys. And my name is Jérôme Trancourt in French, you know. And I'm 50 years old, and I live in north of France now. For now, I work in the audiovisual industry since last century now. I was graduated by in university in France of it was a Master of Audiovisual Science and Technology. It was in 1994. I start my career as a freelancer in a feature film movie when I start to be a technician. Then I slowly go into production assistant, and then production manager on feature film. In 2006, I start working in the animation industry, and I launched a studio of 40 people for my company who hired me at the time, called EP4U. So we had to set up a brand new animation, 2D animation studio in Lille in 2006. It was my first experience of putting people in work after a long-term training. I started my own company in 2010 called Studio Rainfrog with two partners. When I was direction manager We produced about 80 hours of program in mostly on animation series in 2D techniques, 3D techniques, and my last production, which was very interesting, was an hybrid show where we mixed feature film scene with 3D animation characters. 2 years ago, I started another company named Diable to be a consultant and to develop some feature film animation project. And a few days ago, I started a new position as a campus manager on a brand new audiovisual school, which will open in September in Lille. And this is a formation in audio production and film production.
And it's a private school.
And it's private school, yes.
Okay. Okay, thanks. So one of the topics we have already addressed, but in a general way, with Serge Humet, that you know well, quite well, was the way to get trainees, young people, to recruit them in the animation field. So I think it would be useful that you give us like your vision, a picture of what are the main recruitment channels in order to to get in the business.
Yes, all of this year in my production manager experience, I have to hire several hundreds of people, several hundred of artists, 2D artists, 3D artists. So I have to face with the reality, and I face to the curriculum vitae. So I can mostly all the people that I hired at the time, they come from a specialized animation school. Okay, like you may know, there are in so many countries.
Can you give us some examples? In France, you have also private, public. What is the?
So in France, you have public school. So I got to find the names. They call DMA animation. It's DMA. It stands for diplôme en maîtrise artistique. Okay. So artistical knowledge in animation 2D. Okay. So this is a few free, not public. This is one of the few public schools. There are 4 or 5 in France. Then you go next to the private school. So there are a lot of private schools in France. This is a growing business indeed, because there is a growing demand of professional in this industry, as you may already know.
But for example, in Hauts-de-France, Pictanovo's region,
we are working with a school called Pôle 3D, another which is very famous because she's in the first rank of the International School of Animation. His name is Rubica in Valenciennes.
It's the Chamber of Commerce.
Come from the Chamber of Commerce originally, and it was very usual for me to work from a student come from a very, very long school, a very far away school, like in the south of France, or maybe sometimes like in Spanish school or Italian school, because when you have to set up a team, you take all the best profiles that you can find, and sometimes you take all the people from Europe.
Okay. And the most maybe famous in France is Les Gobelins also.
And the Gobelins, but in the rank of the school, it's 2 or 3 below Rubica that we talked about.
Okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's for the specialized animation schools. Then there are other ways to get into this.
Sometimes you find people that come from artistic schools, where they found themselves a way to go to learn more deeply about 2D, mostly 2D animation. So it's a mix of education and self-education, you know. They mainly the people that come from artistic school, they have sort of 2D profile. They work on a 2D project because they have these drawing facilities, you know, and so sometimes it's happened. There is another way. A few people come from that people, you know, they want to change their life, and they go to 1 year of preliminary artistic skill upgrading courses called MANA, which is a way also to can come to other school, or it is a way to upgrade the skills in drawing and the skill and to have the technical tips to like perspective or like you know, volume or something like that.
But this drawings perspective courses, the specialized animation schools, they are providing these courses also the first year,
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah, first year. Yeah, first year in all the private school. The first year you start from zero. So you typically learn how to draw. You typically learn how to sculpt. You do some very basic things to be sure that every people in the campus will start with the same same level for the second years, and then the second years you just become to study animation, CGI animation, and so on.
And then that's for the 2D, because that's those who have artistic skills, naturally they will draw and they will go in the 2D animation. But then tell us more about how you get involved in the 3D area.
Sorry,
how do you get involved in the 3D? Because you have spoken about 2D.
Yeah, 3D. 3D, it's more people that come from school, because this is a lot of there is a lot of artistic, but also a lot of software skilling to have, and it is very technical. So you have to be you have to follow at least a 3 years school, very hardworking to get the specific skill to work on this 3D animation thing. And the thing is, when you I met some artists, 3D artists. They have not those natural skills in, you know, drawing or something like that, but they are very comfortable with a 3D space and a 3D environment and the all digital thing, and they manage to be very good animators in 3D, and because they are dealing with puppets in a digital environment, and they don't have to draw each frame by frame, and so with a more technical start needed, they can improve their artistic skill, and at the end of the years of education, be very good at animation and rendering and lighting. You know, for example, lighting a scene and so on. You tell me if you don't understand all the
lighting, for example. So you have a background environment. You have your characters, and then you have to light the
lighting. You open the 3D space. People, they are modeling the background and the props that will be in the space, like you know, the tree, the road, the house, something like that. And you have to, and in lighting, you put obviously you put some light on this set, virtual set, and you to get closer to the director's view of this his sequence. So is it gonna be a night sequence, horrific sequence, or a very cool and soft thing?
And then you have the special effects area, which is
special effect is something that is more and more important, and there is quite few schools that learn FX, but I think they will do more and more because with the all the series and movie from all the streaming that we have seen these past years, they all have FX involved. So the needs for the FX artist is very, very strong at the moment. So for the FX artist, it is very particular because they have to be very good. They have to have a very high sensitive artistic mind because they have to. They are doing the last stage of the image, so they have to learn very specific, also very specific software, like to imitate clothes or to imitate airs or to imitate lightning and so on, a storm. And they have to have this very artistic view to see that what they are doing is according to the director's need.
Okay.
Okay.
So maybe we can move to the next section.
Yeah.
Because we put this section here because obviously the training is linked to the use of softwares and to learn how to use them. So maybe you can.
So we can talk about software briefly. From today, the standard of the 2D animation software is a software called Harmony. And the editor is Toon Boom. It's a Canadian software. It takes more than 10 years for this software to gain some audience, because it is a very complicated software to use. More complicated than, for example, Animate or TV Paint, but it allows a lot of reuse, productivity, and is very the good friend of the production manager because they are working faster with him. So now it is one of the standard. You can find also Animate from Adobe, which is the new name of Flash. Flash, like Flash in the web browsers. It came from the same architecture of Flash. And you have another one which is more for end animation drawing, which called a TV Paint.
And then 3D. Then the
3D, the winner for the animation part. I talk for the animation part because there are lots of in 3D we are using a lot of software. There are software to do the modeling. Sorry, there are software to do the animation. There are software to do the rendering of the frame with the lighting, so this is called a pipeline. So each production, the director and the production manager, they have to think about what they want as a final image, and then they choose the specific rendering software or modeling software. But for the animation, from now, Maya is the top sell, top equipment in the animation studio all over the world. But there is a new challenger coming, whose name is Blender. Blender is an open source software. It was developed first in Netherlands, so it's an European software. And it becomes more and more used because he has this incredible things for him that he is free. He is free of use. So on the production, like it is said on the
slide,
on the screen, it's not. If you go on Blender on a production, you can save. You can save 300,000 euros per year by using Blender, which is not a small economy. So, but Maya is teaching in every school, 3D school all over the world, and Blender is not for the moment. So the animation studio, they have to take the risk to ask them artists to work on Blender instead of Maya. But if they do that, they will have some cost reduction.
Okay. Okay, great. So that was the link between then the profiles you can, the young people you can recruit, and the use of softwares, and now the way to the different methods or terms to train them. So we have classified them in three categories: the short term, the medium term, and the long term. So maybe you can start with the short term.
Yeah.
And your experience in that.
Yeah, this short term is based on experience we had in 2006 when I had to launch on a new animation studio with 40 people to go on a production which lasts 1 year and a half, and I was this problem that it was on Harmony, and Harmony was not taught in any school, and nobody knows this software. So we think about this with my producer back in the days. He said, okay, if we can, maybe we can hire people, find the people to do the production based on their 2D skills and 2D animation, demo, reel, do with Animate or something like that, and we have to train them to know how to use this logiciel. So this software, sorry. So we work on a 6 months training session. We recruit the people. We work on a 6 months training session for the needs of the. Sorry. 6 months training session, and the 2 first months was used to make a lot of drawing, a lot of exercise to make the people to make people go to the same level of artistic skills about what we need for the future show. And then there are 4 months of learning of the software, which is a very Harmony is a very sophisticated software, not so friendly user, but it goes well since then. So we say, okay, if we want them to be productive and to feel comfortable at the beginning of the production, sorry, we will need a 4 months training for them. So we get these things going on. We recruit 28 trainees. They go to these trainings, and then they have an employment for the production, which was 1 year production.
And you've got a very heavy support, public support. Yeah. It's also specific to France, because AFDAS, that's really something particular to France. We don't have it in Belgium. We don't have it in other countries.
Yes, we are lucky. Yes, in France there is this cultural this cultural expression. So we are very lucky because we are very supported. The AFDAS is the OPCO. This is an operator who supports professionals training by collecting and distributing the contribution on each employee and employer pay slips. So when you work, you have a small amount of money that comes directly to AFDAS, and then if you have then in the long time of your career, if you want to have a master class or a training session, you can go back to AFDAS and say, hey, I want to have this training session, and then AFDAS give you back the money that you have saved in the AFDAS by the contribution of your payslip. You understand?
Yes.
Okay. So they are very funded, and they help the company, also the company and the artists to build formation, long life, all the life education. Right. So it's very nice. So this how it was working. So we have this project. Say, okay, we'd like to have a 6 months training. Can you help us? They say, okay. After verifying that this is something very serious. There is the studio going on for another production. So say, okay. So they gave us 15 euro per hour per training. And then we go to see Pôle emploi, which is the unemployment office in France. And then we come also to see the permanent education department for the region of France. Okay, and the boss say, okay, we will follow you on this project, and we give you also another 15 euro per hour per training. So at the end of the this is the calcul here, you know.
And we've got 30 euros per hour per training.
Yeah.
On a 6 months basis. There are 4 weeks in 1 month.
Yeah.
You get 38 of them, trainees.
Yeah.
Multiplying by 30 euros, so it's almost 1 million you got.
Yeah, it's almost 1 million. Yeah.
It's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot.
And then you have also, like we gave this example of 10 weeks because there could be other training experiences on a very shorter term, and then it's still a considerable amount.
6 months. 6 months was our longer training ever. And then when I started my studio in 2010, each year I have a training session for my co-workers, because sometimes we use a new software, especially in 3D, that we don't know. So say, okay, we are do a 2-3 weeks, 3-week training session. So we go to see Avdas, can you help us to set up this training? And for example, now we have put 10 weeks training session with 30 training.
We didn't put the details of the related costs, but obviously you have to pay the instructors.
Yeah.
One or two per 30 trainees. I mean, was depending on the number of people, obviously.
Yes, because you cannot be more than sometimes you cannot be more than 30 people in a classroom, you know. So if you have 28,
then the computers you have either to buy them or to rent them. So that's a cost related. Also, software license. You already addressed this issue. That's quite costly to rent.
It can be costly. Yeah.
And obviously the insurances and the administrative costs. But that gives a good idea of the kind of money could be channeled, or how much does it cost, and on which time frame you can work it out on a specific software like Toon Boom Harmony that, as you said, it's quite a sophisticated one and not so user-friendly.
Yeah, not so user-friendly.
But all these people, then the short-term trainees, they've got then they have been hired on the production.
Yeah, they have been hired of the production. They work for 1 year. Unfortunately, we wish that we can have a continuing business, but unfortunately, after this production, the production to come as a delay, so they have to go. I worked several years with those first people that I trained in 2006. They are still in the game. They're still in the industry animation. They're still working.
Mainly TV, because that was maybe the distinction we made with Serge. Because in the film business area, maybe the short term is less useful because they are more, I mean, long term or artistically not oriented than the TV business, which is more focused on specific skills, and then maybe that's easier to get people on the short-term basis, like these training schemes, and to get them involved already immediately in the TV sector.
Yeah. TV production is more like industrial process. In fact, this is an industrial process. So you have a schedule and a budget, and you have hours and hours of show to deliver to the broadcasters, and you cannot be late, and you cannot be out of budget. So you have to organize things in a very industrial way. So you still you are dealing with artists that are doing their best to work each day, and but you have to also keep on moving. And this is not like a feature film where you have more time and less time to produce, so you can be very more qualitative. In fact, you have to be, because a long feature is very about the look and feel and the story. The animation series is about to have a minimum level of quality that you are agree with the broadcasters. They say, okay, this is this level that I want, and so you have to imagine 50 story, and then you go on.
Okay.
So it's a little bit less.
Daniel, may I ask a question regarding this after? If I understood that correctly, France is the only country that has such an institution, and is it public institution? AFDAS.
AFDAS.
Yeah.
But we will address this issue also regarding public money through the European Investment Fund, the European Social Fund, which is another way to get access to financing. But we will address it later on.
Okay.
Okay. AFDAS, yes, that's quite unique. We don't have it in our
But it is unique, but it costs you on your pay slip. Huh? So it's a win-win.
Voluntary, mandatory.
It's a win-win. If you are an artist and you have the right every 2 years to go on a training session, if you do that, it's a win-win situation, because you will learn all your life. And this is the purpose of the AFDAS, to allow people to learn all their life, professional life.
But the money is given to the artist or to the producer?
The money is given to the producer, which is setting up the formation session.
Okay. And that's the only commitment from the producer sides, to get that training?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we then maybe say a word on the medium term, because this is something also you have planned to set up, and this is the medium term scheme is approaching the private schools one, because it's quite long.
So back in 2014, there was a huge human resource crisis in animation. You can find it was a problem because you can't find enough artists to rejoin your studio, because there is too much studio working and not enough people free to work for all those studios. And this is matters that still, to my advice, that is still running out. So we imagine with my partner to say, okay, we have to now we have to set up a major term training, both for 2D, 3D, and VFX, and we will do it not for as long as the private school, but we'll be doing in three past time 6 months. So we imagine a program, and we say, okay, for us, private school, they are based on 5 years. So we think that if you talk with people that have more, maybe just more little skill, or just more mature, you can take only 3 years of the program, and you can very contract them in 6 months of very, very intensive training.
So you made a business plan on that.
So we have made a business plan of them back in the time, yeah.
Long-term that we already addressed the private schools.
Yeah, private school. This is a very good business model, a private school, you know, and because they
also the trainees are paying fees rather high, isn't it? Or?
yeah, rather right. It can go up to 7,000 to 9,000 per year.
Yours.
Yes, so it is quite a commitment, and the first year corresponds to as we say already, the first year corresponds to an artistic upgrading. So it is 1 year to all people in the school have the same level, you know, approximately, to get the same basics, and then you go on 2D ways, 3D ways, and then for 3 years. And then you have 1 year of specialization. If you want to do only a design character, maybe if you want only to do animation, or if you want only to do a rendering or something like that. So you have to choose.
And there's not much unemployment when you get out of these schools for this.
No, this time if you have a good demo reel, if you have working very hard for your training years, you may find easily a junior job to go into a studio everywhere in the world now.
So let's move to the financing of the training schemes. This is something also we wanted to address the why we start with the French collective convention, because it will lead us also to what Ali's partners how they can maybe adapt it to the regional or local specificities. So we thought that it would be good, not only that you speak about I forgot the name of the company, not AFDAS, but that we spoke about the French Collective Convention. And
yeah. So the French Collective Convention was my Bible as a production manager, because this is yes, as its name says, it is a convention that are edited by the producers in a way, and work syndicate in the other. So they meet and they say, okay, so let's get agree that in every studio you can find every kind of job, okay, and every kind of job, this is the main task of the jobs to do. And if you don't, if you are not in these jobs, then maybe you have to go another one. You have to have you know, an upgrade of your status, maybe an upgrade of your treatment. Okay, so this is this manufacturing tax classification. There is an example.
we put one example here.
Yeah, so
I hope that
this is French, but you have a, yeah, you have it is French, but you have the job, so here, and then you have in a few words what is the main purpose of the job, and what is the task that you have to do on a production.
So it starts at the low level here, assistant infographic 2D, up to the higher one, which is 2D infographic animator and director of animation.
It is sorted by category. Here you can see category 1, 2, 3A, 3B, and this category, they are in contract. Okay, you will be hired either animation director, category A, for this production. So your job is to do that, and do that. And for do that, you have a minimum pay that we are decided together, which is this pay. So this is a very framed. This is a very framed.
And this was the 2012
and deal when you are the.
And this is
and each year
salary grid.
Yeah, so it's an old one, because now with the life they are better salary, but each year they are seeing together, and to say, okay, what are you agree that we do that, or are you agree what we do that? So it's something that is working very, very nice, and it's allowed to have people who know what they are doing when they come to your production, and if you want them to do more, then you have to negotiate a little, and it's something good, because you can say to people, say, okay, you can have this junior job at the beginning of the production, and if all is well, maybe you will have more responsibility, you will have another job qualification and a better pay.
And the function is quite precisely defined, because it goes here from assisting the making of a plan, 2D plan, up to, for example, here, positioning the different elements of which are composing the 2D plan, ensuring the making of it. And then you go to the characters play, le jeu des personnages, up until the management of the team. So it's really quite precisely breakdown.
It's you have exactly the same thing in the feature film industry.
Yeah, and for 3D VFX, so we will share we have already shared the nomenclature, but I think it's a good start to go deeper into what kind of training schemes also could be implemented, depending on what level of skills you want to function, you want to achieve at the end of the training. Okay, so
you're totally right to say that, because AVDAS, when you start a training, you have to say, okay, you use this convention, you say, okay, we are people here in the studio, they are category 5. Then we have planned to take a training session for them, and we hope they can go to category 4 at the end of the training session.
I think also it's important to understand that it's quite there is a lot of hierarchy involved in the animation sector, from junior, medium, and so on. So maybe you could say a word on it. It's, as you said, it's a pipeline, so there's a lot of splitted responsibilities, with a head of section, have a head of animation. Quite comprehensive. Okay, thanks. And then we move to so this is more general. We wanted to stress, because this is maybe for the next webinars, but we will discuss it with our Puglia friends, because that's getting more specialized, how the different ways of getting access to funding through the European funds. But this is something we already touched upon here, is that you can give some examples, but because we see 2D, we say 2D, 3D, FX, but as I've just said, there's a lot of sub-specialized functions, and you gave me some examples. So maybe you could just describe what it corresponds to, what does it mean head model scholar, so or layout designer.
The head model scholar is the guy that design the color of the element of the production. There is a guys, or there are some people who designed all the characters. Another will design the background, and so. And the first step is to do it black and white, you know. And then because the talent of these people is to design, not especially to put the color in it. Then, for example, you have another. It goes to another people that say, okay, I will put the color in this design, which always according to the production assistant or the director assistant, or the director artistic, or the director of the show. Okay, layout designer is someone who is design the background, and for each frame the layout that will be after the characters who will be animating. We can have put some animation also. So this is the example of the of all the pipeline of 2D production.
And 3D, then you have the lot of specialized people.
You had a lot because sorry,
we only mentioned a few of them here, the specialized.
Yeah. So you have obviously you have to sculpt the. So there's also a designer who in 2D say, okay, my character it will look like this, you know. So it is okay. This is my character. Can you please put in 3D in your computer? So this is a 3D sculpture that will do it. We'll do it for the people, for the character. We do it also for the background because you have to sculpt the trees, to the mountain or the house or the vehicle, something like that. That you have the 3D animator that will use all these elements to create the life in the frame, and then you will have to as we mentioned previously, you have to light these scenes because they are in medium lighting during the previous step, and then like you have a specific lighting work to do the more sensitive, and then matte painting. Matte painting is in the background. You can have this big painting to represent maybe the sky or the city or the mountain that you will not. It's a 2D design that you will be in the very rear of the scene.
Yeah, and we didn't give any details or examples for FX, but obviously there are a lot of us. So.
Yeah. Obviously there is a lot of.
Then I put this European qualification framework. Maybe I can say a word of it. It's more setting up the agenda of the future work of the working group. Is because the framework at the European level, and this is linked to the professional figures, because what we have just described are professional figures which can be defined in a precise way. What are the prerequisites for trainees to get into the training schemes, and what are the skills needed, and what are also the outcome of the training as capacities, ability to manage some set of work. So here there is like a European qualification framework is set up in 8 levels, which are trying to put a common level playing field between the different national initiatives. I put here the link of the internet website for it. So I don't know if you see it now. So that's gives a framework for all national or regional initiatives for the professional figures to be in line with what the other nationalities, member states are doing. And that would be, in my opinion, but it's just a proposal to be discussed among the members, and as it is led by our Puglia friends, and now that we have someone who is specialized in this field. So I guess this will be important to address also this issue, to have a common framework, because the new media program, which will start next year, will be also privilege the networking of schools training schemes. So maybe there are also some possibilities, not only to get access to financing through the European social funds, structural funds, but also through the media program. And we also mentioned public-private partnership, because this is a little bit the initiative you mentioned, the business plan you made for the 3 times 6 months training, to get like a private-public initiative. Yes. That would be interesting in the future. Studio are interested to get access, obviously, to public money, but they have also the expertise and the knowledge, and also they can employ the people who are trained. So I think there's a common interest to develop this kind of public-private partnerships. So, and then we think we won't be long on that, but it's also is to set up the agenda of the next working groups. Is the majority, as you told us, and we know that are freelancers. And
yeah,
once more, in France, you have the special status of intermittent. Can you say a word of it, on it?
Okay, so
Briefly, it's just.
So the status of the intermittent it's for technician of feature film, technician of animation, technician of live shows, you know, and comedian and something like that. So it allows you to get paid between two jobs.
Mm-hmm.
So you have, if in 1 year you work enough time, there is it's like 507 hours in 10. If in 10 months you work 507 times in production or in shooting or something like that, then you will be helped for the next year for the weeks that you will not have some work. Okay.
And just to mention you, this precise night, the Belgian Parliament has voted a kind of COVID-19 intermittent status, which gives the unemployed artists, unemployed people because of COVID, an 18 months franchise that if they don't have any work, they can go to the unemployment office and get grants on a monthly basis.
Yeah.
There was an interview this morning at the radio saying the artists are saying we hope to get access to a permanent intermittent status like in France. So it seems that things are moving in Belgium right now.
Yeah.
But because of COVID, and as INTERREG Europe and Alice, we are very much for the moment focused on what the territories are taking as initiatives in terms of COVID. So now we have the Belgium example, which could lead to some positive outcomes, thanks to this virus, I would say.
Yeah.
So that's why we said in other countries specific issues, because that's about the status of freelancers, VAT, how they manage to bill, to invoice because I guess these freelancers in France, they have a VAT number. They are invoicing.
Yeah. You can set up a company, individual company very easily, and but if you do that when you don't work, you don't get paid. And if you are intermittent, if you don't work, you have a daily.
Yeah, so that's an important choice. Either you have a.
But for the company, the social charge are very, very high for the intermittent.
Okay.
We
have 5 minutes left, so we thought if there are some maybe Q&A questions, and also because you mentioned that you are starting a new job, so maybe you can say a word of what you are doing now in terms of recruitment precisely. Planning of your next year.
Yeah. So I will welcome my first student in end of September, and now I am very focused on find the teacher. We will deliver them the program on audio, sound, and video production. And I am also dealing with the planning of the next year, and also I will during the summer I have just the key of my future office Monday, so I discovered the campus, and for the summer I will have the furnitures, the materials, cameras and so on. Yeah, so it's a very enthusiastic thing for me.
And you said to me yesterday that you are recruiting instructors at the moment.
Yeah, I am recruiting.
Is it easy to find them?
Yeah, I think it would not be a so big issue, and the trouble is to just to choose the very good one. So I'm not worried for the moment. So it's cool.
Cool. Well, thank you a lot. Maybe there are some questions.
Yeah.
Yes, I have a question for Jerome.
Yeah.
PROA is conducting a mapping, meaning trying to evaluate along all the animation process, which are the key variables that have to be measured in order first to draw conclusions about the whole animation process, and then also to be able to compare different countries and make a real map of the situation of the animation in Europe. So if you were to choose the key variables for what you've been talking for measuring the status of the animation of the training in a country, in your country,
Yeah.
which ones would you describe as the most relevant for you? Obviously, there are thousands of variables that you can measure in such a process, but basically we would like you to tell us which, according to you, are the more relevant ones.
Okay, it's a very tough question. I think that the student. In fact, you asked me the quality of the students that go out of this training session, and what is the best for studio when you get them involved. Something like
yes, for example.
Yeah. So the first thing when someone is coming to my studio is that something with very have the skills to work with other. You know, you have to. This is very difficult. So this is our job as manager to set up teams and to have a very good team spirit, because things will not be easy at the beginning for these people. So they have to be they have to know, they have to have learned something that will not be a problem if they cannot do it. So they have to manage to open this software. You have to have the same vocabulary. You have to understand what is asking to you to do. And it's normal if you have some problem. You have to have a good communication to go to see your manager and say, okay, this thing maybe you can help me for doing that, and something like that. So communication and team is very important, and you have to work a little bit harder at the beginning. So it's also your motivation that is very important. And after, they are all the school, they are preparing their student in a very good level. So there is I think no. When I received the demo reel, we choose the people based of their demo reel, something like that, because some people, they want to be animators. Unfortunately, they don't have the sensitive enough, so sometimes they animate not so good. So you look the demo reel and you say, okay, it will be fine for the production. Say, you have to work again and again. So if you have choose somebody to go back to the studio, we have no doubt that he will do the job artistically, with the not so difficult things to do at the beginning, and then after a few months he can go on more artistic, difficult thing. And you know, the very important thing is to work in team. So maybe I will tell you that.
Okay, thank you.
A good spirit and a good mentality, and a will to learn every day, and to work in a good relation with all this team. Because when you work episode by episode, and you have episode doing in the same time, and if you are in a team and you don't do your job, it's all the team that will be handicapped because the whole episode will not be delivered because of you. So you have to work together. So say, if I need help, can you help me with this? Because I won't slow down the team. Okay.
Okay.
Are there other questions? Usually Mar has one.
Not this time.
Not this time.
Not this time. Oh. That means that we will end up the session then. Okay. Jérôme, that was really a pleasure. I think on behalf of all the Alice partners, it was we have, I think, learned a lot.
Okay.
And, for the future, we hope to as you are based in Lille, and Pictanovo is based in Lille, so for sure we will see each other in the framework of Alice, and maybe Pictanovo will be willing to send you on at one of our meetings, which are, some of them will take place. One of them will take place in Puglia, another one in Barcelona. So
yeah, with pleasure. Okay.
If COVID allows us, we will see it physically.
That's
so once more, thanks a lot.
Okay.
I will share the recording internally, as I said, but we also we will make a summary, like takeaways from what Serge has contribution and yours in a like a more global summary. We will share it with you also, because I guess we could have an interesting feedback from both of you, from Serge and from you.
Yeah. Okay.
If you agree on that.
Okay. Thank you.
So I'm ending up the session. If nobody has something to say. So bye-bye to everybody.
Bye-bye.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So be on Slack and chat.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you.